President Trump says, "Hey, we want to really get to these UAPs and find out what they are. Start shooting them down." That's what the order has been, apparently. So I want to play this video from Ross Coldhart about the White House basically wanting to get ahead of the legacy program and finding out what these things are. So instead of other people figuring it out and potentially doing things around the system, we take them down and find out. So let's listen to this report from Ross Coldhart, and then we'll give our thoughts on it. Check it out.
The Department of War has quite literally taken on the running of its own covert operation to intercept these mystery objects. And I'm told they have recently downed objects, craft, both in the US and across the border near Juarez in Mexico. I am also told by White House sources that President Trump has personally authorized this operation, which perhaps explains why no full admission has yet been made to the public about the full extent of what the government really knows. There is a full-on effort underway by the administration to recover suspected non-human intelligence exotic technology in a program totally separate from the so-called legacy program. This is an attempt by the president to circumvent the legacy program. It's been run out of the White House by the president's most senior intelligence advisors. President Trump has tasked the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, to find out what these objects are and to capture them. The Office of the Director of National Intelligence, ODNI, is also involved. Sources have told me that one of the directed energy weapon systems used at White Sands in an attempt to shoot down these mystery craft is what's called high pulse microwave. It shuts down an aircraft by emitting an intense burst of electromagnetic energy that travels at the speed of light, penetrates the aircraft, and fries its electronic systems. My sources tell me that the craft, objects, UAPs, whatever you want to call them, are being targeted over White Sands, and they definitely show anomalous properties, conforming to the 5 observables that define UAPs.
You know, cravings is not just about the nicotine. It's really about the habit in general. It's the hand to mouth motion. It's the oral fixation of it. It's the momentary pause. When that loop is broken, the cravings, they spike. So Fume, which I've talked to you guys about before in the past, that replaces your habit with a flavored fidget device that gives your hand and mouth something to do. And it's distracting cravings without nicotine, vapor, or batteries. So my buddy Ming, if you watch my other channel, he is a big smoker. And I said, dude, you gotta try this. You gotta check it out. And you gotta try Fume. And it's not just about trying to quit. It's upgrading that habit loop. So you got to reach for Fume instead of doing the normal habit. So new habits can feel pretty easy on day 1. The cravings hit on like day 5 is the thing. So Fume, when I was talking to Ming, he was like, that helped. It kind of interrupted his old pattern of doing things. So there's favorite flavors. I asked Ming, I was like, what is it? He said to him it was the raspberry one. He said it was a kind of tangy and it was more on the sweeter end of things. And there's a good offer that's going on with Fume right now. And when you grab a journey pack, you get a free gift, and you just got to use my code DTE. It's a pretty good deal. Fume has already helped over 700,000 people take steps towards better habits, and now it's going to be your turn. You got to use our code DTE, get a free gift when you do it with your journey pack. Head on over to tryfume.com, TRYFUM.com. Use that code DTE to claim your free gift today. I have had Fume as a sponsor before. They have helped out various friends. That's why I usually always say I love working with them because every single time, whether it was Mark Riley, who you guys know, my friend Ming, Fume has been helping tremendously and will help you. So go and check it out. Use that code, and I think it'll help you. Okay, so a lot there, obviously. So many questions. I have so many questions because the first side of it is I immediately, well, I want to try to track my thoughts because it's all scattered. Let's start with Stephen Greer. Why'd you bring that name up? Because every time you hear about Stephen Greer, and it depends on what you feel about him and how you feel about him, if you feel like he is legit, then my question to him is this the smartest move for them to be doing? Because Stephen Greer makes it very clear in every interview that these are benevolent creatures and that they're here to help. If he is 100% correct and knows, then why the hell are we just shooting these things randomly out of the sky? It also combats against the idea that we are in contact with them. We have been able to speak with them. We know what they're here for. We understand. And we let them fly around and do their things. Now, the argument against that would be, well, as you see in this report, that this is outside the realm of the people who actually know. Where your brain could go here is, let's say, hypothetically, that this is the deal where Trump is saying, okay, listen, if this legacy group doesn't want to tell us and doesn't want to give us information and is doing this thing on their own and playing coy and not letting us know what's going on, well, then start shooting them down. And if you are that group at this point and you see that happening now, maybe the play is, holy shit, we got to say something now. They're knocking these things. They're knocking them out of the sky. They don't even realize what they're about to be doing. It's like a scene out of a movie. They don't even know what they're doing. They're going to piss everybody off. This is going to start a planetary. This is going to start a galactic war. You could see scenarios where it's like, okay, they're basically saying, all right, you guys don't want to give us the information. Let us see. We're trying to get information. We're trying to figure out. You're roadblocking the White House. You're roadblocking everybody else. So then we'll use the technology and the stuff that we have, and we'll get some ourselves and figure out exactly what it is. So if you guys are keeping your information and the stuff that you have behind closed doors, well, you can't tell us that we can't go and find it. And if we find it, then we can decide. You guys keep all your information, everything that you have quiet. Well, we have that information too. And now we're going to tell you what we have found. You see the strategy behind it, but it doesn't sound safe. The other question, I think that what naysayers could say, and I could understand, is, well, wait a minute. These things have anti-gravity, they have these, they have this, they have that. They have this far superior technology than what we have. And this pulse and this thing that we have can just take them out? How does that work? I mean, I guess the answer could be, well, we have been doing enough research. We've been working on other things that potentially know how these things work. And maybe it's people who are tired of the gatekeeping that are working in cahoots with the White House to be able to take these things down. It's an interesting turn of events. And just to further on basically what we just said here, and this is Trump authorized a secret UAP shoot-down operation at White Sands. I don't know how secret it is anymore. The operation bypasses old programs, runs directly from President Trump's senior intelligence advisors, with Secretary of War Pete Hegseth leading alongside the Office of Director of National Intelligence. It uses directed energy weapons and techniques from the private Skywatcher group, like electromechanical signals and neuromeditative methods, to target craft showing classic UAP traits such as sudden acceleration. Skywatcher, which identified 9 UAP types in Texas through 2025, went silent after its last public post on Christmas Day. With its methods now reportedly feeding into this classified effort, no official confirmation has come from the White House or Pentagon, leaving questions about transparency and ethics in the air. Now, I don't know if this is relevant or not, but then there's another story that 2 days ago, there's a 100-foot triangular UFO over Colorado, base captured in video. I don't know if this is related or not, but a few days ago, a 100-foot triangular UFO over Colorado base captured in video Air Force won't release. A pair of classified videos allegedly showing a 100-foot black triangular UFO over a Colorado military base remain locked away despite President Trump's new order aimed at encouraging more UFO whistleblowers to come forward, sources familiar with the footage told the Post. 2 videos recorded in the service member's personal cell phone on consecutive nights in 2023 are among the pieces of evidence whistleblowers say can still not be discussed or released publicly because they remain classified by the Air Force, the source said. Those videos, which captured the craft zooming over mountains and activity camouflaging in clouds, are stored with the Air Force of Special Investigation in Colorado, according to those sources. Previous UFO whistleblowers warned that nothing has changed after Trump's new order waiving non-disclosure agreements for more people with special knowledge on government programs to report to executive branch agencies, and the best evidence is still behind wall of classification. This does nothing for people who could have come forward and spoken already. Dylan Borland, a U.S. Air Force veteran and private contractor, told the Post nothing has changed. Borland testified to Congress in 2024 that he also witnessed a massive triangular UFO hovering over NASA hangar for a few minutes without making a sound before rapidly ascending to the level of commercial jets in mere seconds. I've done the committees, I've done private messages. At this point, unless I'm speaking under oath to the public, what's the point? Borland said. Matt Brown, former defense industry contractor, came forward on the Weaponized podcast in early 2026 to reveal to the public some of what he told to Congress and the Office of Director of National Intelligence behind closed doors, that there was a secret Pentagon program called Immaculate Constellation that studied, collected data, and recovered UFOs. Trump's order, frankly, doesn't do anything new, said Brown. It does not free whistleblowers to speak publicly. Both Brown and Borland were on the receiving end of professional reprisals and character assassinations after they blew the whistle on Arrow and Odney. Borland alleges he faces retaliation after blowing the whistle, including problems with his security clearance, workplace harassment, and a derailed career. Brown lost his job as a contractor and was smeared as an anti-Semite to reporters after he went through the proper channels of whistleblowing, he claimed on the Weaponized program. Arrow and Odney should not have any leadership role in this project as they have discredited themselves, Brown stated. Several more potential whistleblowers are unmoved by the Trump administration directive and are still holding back their testimonies and best evidence, according to sources. All right, it's all confusing and discouraging and encouraging. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you look at the idea that there's this order of them shooting things down. Now, if they shoot these things down and they figure out what it is, if they're not releasing footage of this thing over Colorado, well, then why are they going to release information about what they find if they do shoot things down? It's just going to be a new group that keeps secrets. Why do we believe any of that? Well, yeah, okay, listen. And say what you want about Lou Elizondo. He said, don't get too excited about this NDA thing. Doesn't mean shit. Matt Brown saying the same thing. Other people saying, Borland saying the same thing. Everybody's saying the same. It doesn't really do anything. It's just kind of white noise. It's like, when you see something like the reason I brought up the Colorado thing is that to me is really discouraging. Here we go, and we get all of this information or footage 2-3 days ago, whenever it was, and it's all the blurry nonsense things that you've seen a million times over, the light flashing back and forth with the grainy footage that everybody's just tired of because, it could be. And yet, apparently there's footage from a camera that's the closest and most clear that anyone's ever seen or has seen, or it's, like they said, the clearest evidence is all classified stuff. So if that is the case, if we know that this is potentially something of this big triangle flying overhead and it's really kind of clear footage, and that's the one that, hey, we're releasing all this footage, but not that one. We're releasing all this footage, but not that. That to me seems like they knew what they could release, and they're just acknowledging that we know something fishy's going on out there, but they don't really care about telling us about it. Maybe they have discovered more. Maybe they do want to figure out what it is and see how it could benefit the administration. But it ain't to let us know what's going on. Let us know what's going on. I think Burleson is trying to figure out for us. I think he's done enough at this point. I still think he's a politician, so I don't trust anybody who's a politician. And no, that's just me. But I do think he really cares. And I do think that he's really trying to push forward with this thing. My question to him would be, what's the deal with this, this footage, this triangle footage, and what's the deal with them trying to shoot things down when you don't have all the information, when you have other information from other people saying that they're benevolent or that we don't necessarily know what their purpose is? To me, my question would be, and that's the other thing, if this is a report that comes out and that it's warranted by News Nation to report this and put this out there, and there's reports out there that saying this is a secret mission, why aren't reporters asking this at the press conferences and saying, what is this secret mission? Is this a real thing? Can you confirm or deny this? Just give us something to it. It's potential assets of them shooting something down, whatever it is, even if it's otherworldly, if it's a freaking drone. What are you shooting down? We should know about that, right? What are you shooting down? And so that is concerning that they're not even talking about that. And then the other side of it would be there's two sides of them shooting these things down. Okay, we're shooting them down. Like we said, we know the intent. It's to figure out, so we can figure out what they are. But in shooting them down, do you have people on your team that actually know what they are, what their intent is in general? Because if you do, well, then you got information that you can tell us, and then you can let us know, is it otherworldly? Is it other countries? What is it? If it isn't, then what the fuck are you doing just shooting randomly in the sky if you don't know what it is? You ever seen Independence Day? I have. Maybe you're pissing somebody off. Maybe it's somebody's alien kid that you did on a joyride the first time. Hey, we're taking a ship out for the first time. I don't know. Their 16-year-old is 200 years old. He's flying around the joint. He's doing his thing. He's flying around. Hey, look at this. And then he just crashes because they said, oh, why'd they shoot him down? I don't know. Well, fuck those guys. Let's blow them up. I just don't know the answers to any of this stuff. And it's just, this is a crazy story in general. And then the idea of like, oh, we're going to release all this footage. Here's all this footage for you guys. But not that one. Why? Well, it's because it's clear. You might be able to actually tell what it is. I don't get it. Or maybe I do get it. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. Appreciate it. Make sure you click like, comment, subscribe. Do all that and more. See you on the flip side.